If you're thinking about gardening for yourself, and we hope that you do, no matter the size, there's a few basic tools that you'll need. So, for example, I always say if you live in a little apartment and you have a balcony, you can get containers and grow things there. If you have a small backyard, you can do a 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot, and I always say you'll be surprised at how much you can grow. But stick with us here. This is going to be a quick video because I'm going to show you what you don't need. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm going to show you what you don't need. And I'll give you an example. I fly fish. I have fly fished a lot in my life for the past 25 years. And there's good companies out there that have great fly fishing equipment. And you're like, what does this have to do with gardening? And I'll tell you what this has to do with gardening. Is that there are a million different gadgets that you can buy for fly fishing that you do not need. And if you look at some of the best fishermen in the world, they do it simply, they do it gracefully, especially in fly fishing, and they don't use a lot of equipment. They may have a net and they may have the very best fly rod, but they keep it simple. And the truth is the same thing in gardening. And I'm going to show you quickly the list of things you don't need. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you what you do need. And it's a very simple list and a short list. So we're going to take a quick look at that for those of you that are going to backyard garden. If you're going to do a market garden like I do, the list starts to increase of things you'll need, like a seeder, a planter, and I'll talk about that briefly. But the list of things you don't need is long because we're going to go quickly over this. I'm going to show you. So let's go over and look at those tools and see exactly what's kind of a minimum thing you'll need. So let's take a look. Okay, let's take a quick look at what you do not need in gardening. And there again, I'm going to show you what you do need so you can pretty much eliminate everything else. This is a seed tray. I won't go over the brand of seed tray, but we like to get one that has good hard plastic. So it's going to last you several seasons. You don't have to go rebuy them every time. In a small garden, you may not need more than 3 or 4. You can even split it in half. You could have radishes over here and onions over here. Always check and see and make sure they grow together well. You can Google that. But if you flip it over, I like to have seed trays that have a hole in the bottom. And they'll hold, if there's a little moisture in that compost, it'll hold it well. But that way you can get your finger underneath, if you can see that, and you can push out those seedlings when you go to plant them. So 2 or 3 seed trays, simple thing to get. I always like to go to my hardware store, get a 5-gallon bucket because you can carry around compost really easy, take it over your bed, spread it out, simple to do. I like to have just a good wide or a hard tooth rake that you can take out on your bed, smooth down. It does a great job of that, especially for compost. So that's a simple thing to get. I like to have a broad fork. These type soft tine rakes, you can get at just about any hardware store. I bought this one 2 or 3 years ago, I think for about 10 bucks. They may cost more now, but they're not that expensive. Now this is a luxury item. You can get it if you want to. You don't have to have it. Is a Styropoe. Styropos are great for weeding. I like them. These type, the type steel that's on this one is going to last you for 20 years. You can get the blade replacements, which are about $8 to $10. These blades will last you a long time. And then you can get just a standard hoe. I bought this. This is a very cheap hoe, but you can get weeds out with that. And the reason I show you just a couple of hoes, there is also a wire weeder out there. I won't go into it. I have other videos on my channel where you can go and look at how we handle weeds. Wire weeders are fantastic. You don't have to get one. In smaller gardens, of course, you can hand weed because if you're in a 10 by 10 garden, that's not going to take a lot of time. And I will tell you with compost, weeding is going to be less of an issue because in a no-till compost system, you're going to have about 85% fewer weeds because that soil's not disturbed. And then lastly, watering. You can get a drip system. You can buy those at all the big hardware stores. But I will tell you, if it's a 5 by 5, 10 by 10 foot little garden in your backyard, hand watering or using just dragging a hose over there and making sure that you've got things watered is a simple thing to do. So you can see that list is not long, it's not extensive, and it's not expensive. It's something that's simple. There's a lot of things out there that you can buy. Gadgets go on and on and on. For a simple backyard garden, what I'm trying to do is show you you don't have to spend a lot, and then these items can be used for years and years to come, making each year your harvest becoming less expensive. So there you go. You can see the items are very simple, inexpensive. They're going to last you for several years. In a small backyard garden, it's not going to take a lot of equipment to be able to do that. If you're planting direct seeds, you can take your finger, if it's this little small garden, or you can take a dowel rod and just take and pull it along. If the packet says 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, make it about that deep, drop your seeds in, cover it, water it, keep it watered, and watch the result. It's that simple. If you have a bigger garden where you're now getting into 30, 40 feet, that's not a practical thing to do, and you may want to buy a seeder, as you can see here in my video. But in most cases, you're not going to need that in a small backyard garden. It's just an expense. It's not needed. So, hope you'll try that out. I always encourage, whether it is spring or fall, or as we go into summertime, it's always a good time to think about your garden and plan it out. In the wintertime, we start thinking about, hey, this is what we're going to plant this coming spring. Winter goes quick, especially in these southern zones here in the United States. And it's just a lot of fun, especially if you have children, to get them involved in that garden and have good, nutritious food that you don't have to buy at the grocery store. Blessings over you, your family, your garden, your harvest. We've got a video over in this corner that YouTube will suggest of our list of videos. We hope you always get something out of it. Thanks for tuning into our channel. Talk to you soon from Whirlwind Family Farm.